The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And oh, we're back to that again. Hey, here we are. We are now live for another Wicked Horror Show. I apologize if you're seeing a double video. I turned one of them off, so hopefully those will move over to this one. Restream's been messing up on me, but we are live. It is Tuesday. We are doing Wicked Horror Show, and with us today we have Kevin.
I love that you blame the software.
I do.
Same thing every week. So you blame it every week for how many years now? Was that like 5?
Yeah.
Way too long. Tony.
What is going on, people?
Yeah, and Tony, would you like to introduce our guest?
Sure, I'm going to probably, as Kevin said, I'll probably butcher the name 2 seconds after she said it, but Tara Yersky.
Yersky.
Yeah. You might know her from a few things, actually. Bitches of Horror here on YouTube. For those of you watching on YouTube, you might know her from that. She has a short out now called Create Your Killer, which I think most of you not most of you, all of you should check out. And she's actually been writing stuff, movies, acting in movies, so you should all check those out as well. Check out her IMDb, just so you know everything. It's a wide variety of stuff. But how are you, Sarah?
I'm good actually.
And you should point out the fact that she's in Sweden right now.
Yeah, it was
3 o'clock in the morning.
I was about to. I was going to get to it and be like, you should everybody watching should be, very thankful because she's joining us. I think you and Jessica Cameron are the only 2 people that I think were, on a different time zone. And
no,
we had the director of the newer Hellraiser. He was in Romania.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Also, that Australian zombie flick
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Wormwood. Yeah.
Wormwood.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
Wormwood.
Yeah, and then remember the Hal Ozen, he wanted Wolfie to marry him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
well,
thought he was in
she
LA.
took my thunder away. But
Oh, sorry.
it doesn't happen often where we
It
have
doesn't.
someone
Yeah.
from overseas come and join us here on the Dorkening. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
And
So,
no, I just it's what 3 o'clock you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
so create your killer. We all saw the short, and I must say, with short movies, there's certain ones that I'm like, I think it's good as a short and it could stay as a short, but then there's other ones that I'm like, I think I want to see on a larger scale. So this one, I want to see, more to it. Is there any thought of making it possibly like a feature length style movie, or are you gonna, kind of keep it as a short? Or
Yeah, when I was writing it, I actually had in mind to make a feature sequel out of it. So I'm really hoping that I will be able to do it. I'm writing the script right now, so it will be fun because I think the concept would work as a feature as well.
Oh, I agree 100%. Everything Tony said, I agree with completely. It's really fun. It's really short. What is it like? It's under 8 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But the amount that gets done within that 8 minutes, the whole concept is really cool. Even like the effects and stuff that are in it are awesome. During the end credits, like the graphics and stuff, so cool. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. It reminded me of the intro to the IT Crowd.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is fantastic.
Thank you.
And what did you do that? Did you do the animation or?
No.
Oh,
It
that's
was
awesome.
my friend, the end credits, Martin Gustafsson, and he also filmed and edited the intro for Bitches of Horror.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely talented. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was his idea, and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. It sounds fun, and yeah, it worked.
Yeah, it's like you can almost like see something just of that, like with the same story, like a little spin-off. The only thing with it being a feature, is that if you got into the feature side of it, without giving too much away, well, maybe. I mean, I don't know if it would because I don't know what's in the trailer, but you play on some big name like baddies. So if you try to do a feature, that would kind of hold things back from like any kind of distribution or whatever because of rights. But I think you change them enough where you could probably get away with it. It's like
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that if you make the characters into a parody, then it's fine.
Yeah, and it definitely like there's one of them is pretty close, but yeah, like the Freddy one is definitely not. You mean look at the face? I'm like, I was like, what the fuck's up with this guy's face? It was great. It was actually, I think it's creepier than Freddy Krueger. That guy's face. It was like in The Naked Gun or something when he like pushes the face and he's all twisted. It was cool. But yeah, I think it would be. I think that would be a really good idea. Like really, really awesome if you could stretch it out to a full length feature and then almost like have them do your bidding kind of deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
because you kind of harp on it. You like whatever story you had behind it. You're like, oh yeah, he did that to me. I'm like, what did he do, and who are you talking about? And so I think it would definitely, I don't know how long that would be, but like a little prequel to it, like a little, why is she so pissed off at this person?
Yeah.
So when I was watching it, I'm like, like I said, with certain shorts, it's like, I really, you got enough of it. I really don't need too much more. But this one, I'm like, I got what the point is, but I'm like, I want to see more. I want to see.
And again, just to point out too, like a lot of shorts that we watch are around 30 minutes, stuff like that. This like piqued our interest, and it's as short as it is. Is there a reason why you kept it around that length? And you've done a lot of shorts as well. Are they all usually around that length, or?
Yeah, I usually don't like to make shorts longer than 10 minutes. It's just my own preference because I don't want to make something that feels so drawn out or anything like that. I want to keep it like as short as possible and to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, works better with film festivals because they have a certain type of limit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because at some point it's gotta go in from like a short film to a a feature at some point if it's over the certain amount of minutes. So yeah, if you keep it around that and you keep them as jam packed with goodness as you did with this one, it's like I mean it'd be a no brainer to put it in like a section of shorts.
Well,
wouldn't eat up your day. What's up?
No, I was just gonna say. Speaking of such, we do have the trailer for it, and actually, we're gonna play it real quick. Would you like to introduce it, Sarah?
Yeah, the trailer for Create Your Killer actually has nothing to do with the film, so there are no spoilers. It's an infomercial.
Nice. Here we go.
And
Are you tired of these killers trying to kill you? Are you tired of being kept up all night? And are you tired of getting campfire trauma? Well, fear no more, because your answer is right here. Try the new game, Create Your Killer. Guaranteed to solve all your traumatic issues.
Wow.
Take out your remote control.
Uh-huh.
And say whatever you want the killer to do.
Dance. Woohoo!
Side effects may include death and decapitation. Personal safety not guaranteed.
And there we go. And if you want to learn more about Sarah and Bitches of Horror, information is in the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. There we go.
Yeah, and Sarah, you were just saying that Leo asked you like off camera that how people can see this, but it's currently doing the festival circuit. So if you're in now, do you submit to festivals in the U.S. as well, or is it just?
Yeah, it has actually been playing at some festivals in the U.S. and all over the world. So.
Oh, it's awesome. That's cool.
So have you gotten? Isn't some you get like little awards and stuff?
I've won one award for best retro film, but right now I haven't heard anything new. And some festivals are, they are canceling their events. So unfortunately,
yeah,
at this point in time, it might be, especially this past month, with not only like festivals and stuff, but film in general. A lot of their indie films and all that stuff, everything is put on like a standstill.
Yeah. And someone was bringing up, I don't know who it was, if it was a guest last week or maybe the week before, about like possibly like virtual, like a film festival. It was Leo, apparently. Yes. A film festival where like maybe you pay to get access to the film festival and you watch it on your computer or on your streaming device. I
think they were doing some money sharing with the actual film producers.
Well, that's good. But if it's, for me, like we had a lot of film, not film festivals, but horror conventions and stuff, but there wasn't too many film festivals. And I always want to check these movies out because I hear about them and I want to see them. Yeah. And if that was an option, I mean, I would be down. But at the same time, too, I also like sitting in a theater and watching a movie. But fingers crossed that comes back soon.
Yeah, well, we know it's going to be a while before it comes back. So to save the season, kind of like the mayor of Jaws, got to save the summer.
Kittner kid. What about the Kittner kid? It's going all over the dock, something like that.
Well, I'm just saying, try to make more of them virtual and.
Yeah, but then I don't want it all to go that way.
No. Just
one of the
for
things
the time
I like,
being.
and I'm sure Sarah, like you can probably speak to this as well. If you go to film festivals, I've never had a film in a film festival because I've never made a film, but I like seeing the whole thing. The directors and stuff will stand up and at the end of it, and you can ask questions and stuff like that.
I agree. Just meeting people who share the same love for horror as you do, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's networking too. Like you get to like we went up to a film festival up in Buffalo a few years back, and like we met a ton of people. Like we met people that we've since had on the show, and we've been able to reach out to them for other things.
Yeah,
and vice versa. So it's it's networking and connections. Same thing with the horror festivals. I mean, the horror conventions. I want them to come back. Tony, make it happen. All right, cool.
Okay, yeah, I'll snap my fingers and
right, cool.
they're back. They're actually back. You can go tomorrow.
Oh, sweet. I'm
It's
working.
amazing.
Shit.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, just the con crud is going to be a killer one this time, though.
Oh my God, for real. Oh, but anyway. So, looking at your IMDb, you have a bunch of other shorts. How many of them, you've acted in a lot, but how many of them have you written?
I have written, let's see, I've done Creature Killer, Rotten Love, Mimes, and then I did some experimental stuff with my mom, like when I was a teen. So, yeah, like no one has really seen them, so I'm not really counting them. And then I wrote a feature called Saryad, Wounded. So,
I actually got that movie. It was put out by Wild Eye Releasing, correct?
Yeah.
Because I remember I actually got that movie to review, and then I kind of put two and two together as I was scrolling through IMDb. I'm like, oh, okay, well it's one of those, like, I guess you could put it like rape revenge movie kind of deal on the lines.
Kind of, yeah.
So now, you being a horror fan, like, what made you take that jump from just watching the movies to actually either, writing or acting in them? Because, there's a bunch of us that love the movies, but we never, we've had so many people on that we, just say even making a movie is that, so much more than a lot of us. So what made you take that leap and be like, I like them so much, I'm going to write one and then I'm going to act in it? Like, what was that? Was there a point that you're like, I want to do this?
Yeah, because when I was 10, my dad died from cancer. And one of the ways that I was dealing with it was writing. Because I used to watch a lot of movies with him, comedies and horror and stuff. So I just kept on writing, and it made me feel a lot better. So I always wrote horror things, and it just evolved into writing short stories and then feature films. And then I got to a point where I really wanted to start creating films. I just wanted to be in this horror industry, and I wanted to make horror films come back in Sweden, like save the horror genre. That was my kind of dream. But I was a teen, and I didn't really know anything about the business or how to do anything, how to make a film. So that got like put on ice for a while. And I stopped writing and making anything, and I started training MMA. So
you can kick everyone's ass. So that's
yeah,
cool.
But I actually had a few fights in MMA, Muay Thai, and grappling, and I did that for 6 years. But then I felt that something was missing in my life. I'm like, this is fun, but it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. So that's when the story for my feature film came. And I just got these images, and I'm like, I have to write this story. I have to make this film. So I started writing the story, and I got to know a few people that were really passionate about making films. And I told them about my story, about my vision, and they were like, yeah, let's make it. Yeah, of course. But at that point, I hadn't been interested in acting at all. I just wanted to write. But that story was so personal to me because it was about a girl who lost her father. So I put a lot of myself in my films, and someone was like, well, why don't you play the character? I'm like, well, okay. Yeah, sure. I can try, I guess. And then when we did the teaser, I had some emotional scenes, and afterwards I felt so much better, like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders, because I've always been a person who like bottles all my feelings, like I keep them down and I never talk about them with anyone. And acting was like kind of a therapy for me. So that's why I fell in love with it and kept doing it and keep doing it. Nice. So yeah, that's the story.
And the fact that, I mean, it's the first feature you wrote and it got distribution and stuff like that. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah. I'm assuming it's still something that can be found on DVD.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm even amazed that like it's on DVD and people are watching it. I thought that, you know, we will make this thing, like maybe a few people will watch it and we will move on and I will learn from everything and just do something else. But yeah, it's it's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, one thing with, I mean, I'm sure we probably are all in the same boat. Like when we were younger, you'd go through and like that's the one thing with horror fans is I think they're more apt to give something a chance. You know, like oh, that's an awesome title.
Yeah.
Even like just the title will be like I want to check that out just because the title's meant.
Yeah.
You know, or like a cover or
Yeah.
just the storyline would be like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. So
Yeah.
even though there may be no one in it, like no one in it that they may know. I mean, still, it's a lot of the horror fans I think are willing to give it a shot. And the you know, it's one of those things where you almost like I can't wait to find someone that I'm going to be like the champion behind this actor or actress right now. And it's I want to follow them until they're gigantic, and then you know, then whatever.
Don't forget about us.
Oh, totally. But no, that's pretty awesome. And you know, besides that, you work and you have a life and all these other things, but you're still able to keep that stuff going, and you have a podcast, and you know, you.
See that? I mean, all the time when we have guests on, and it's just, you know, all these movies that we watch, and it's just amazing. I think we said it many a times where, you know, you guys make a movie, but you still have, you know, your day job, and it's just like two different worlds working, you know, in one, and it's just like that's why. I mean, we do what we do, and it's also one of the reasons why. Because I don't want to say I was like cynical and all that stuff watching certain movies, but it was just like I didn't have as open of a mind as I do now, being like, you know, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know, you know, how much time it takes, what kind of budget. So I used to look at some of these, you know, lower budget movies and, you know, be like, what am I watching? And I, you know, didn't give it the time of day as much as I do now. But it's just like, it's even before we were saying, you know, making a movie to begin with is 10 times further than I've ever, you know, done, or more, 100 times further. So at that point in time, anybody who's watching or, you know, checking it out, give independent movies 10 times more of a chance than these bigger budget movies, because one, you'll find stories that you never heard of before, like never thought possible.
There's more originality in the independent stuff. Like, as you know, a lot of the big Hollywood movies is just the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
You get the same thing with some independents, but a lot of the like more original, like cool stories are from filmmakers that you've never heard of. You know, they're the ones with the cool ideas, the original ideas.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like in Hollywood films, sometimes, yeah, you do have the budget, it looks beautiful, but it lacks heart, it lacks passion. And in independent film, that's where you find the passion. You can really, even there could be some technical difficulties, but you can still feel the passion and the love for the genre.
Oh, totally.
That's what I love.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And that's the thing is, I mean, I haven't seen any of the other ones, but with this one, it looks awesome. Like, it looks really good. So the people you're working with know what they're doing as well. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the production quality in general, I just thought was great. So are these people that you've worked with a bunch, or, you know, or?
Yeah, they are people that I've known for a long time. And then I have gotten to know more and more people. And then they have become my crew, sort of speaking. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you know,
Yeah.
so you were talking about when you were younger about like bringing the horror scene back in Sweden, or so is there a big like horror scene like in Sweden or in Stockholm?
It's getting bigger now, definitely. Like there are a lot of more filmmakers in Sweden that are making horror films, but a couple of years back there wasn't hardly anyone. There were a few, but no one really talked about horror as much, and there wasn't any festivals, but as we have now, like Monsters of Film Festival has been running for a lot of years now, and they are really bringing horror films and independent horror, and they have their own Women in Horror section each February, so it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
and I was, we were talking to you before the show, which, I should have saved most of my questions for now, which I'll rehash anyway. But we were talking, and you are part of that. You watch some of the shorts and, for the film festival and stuff. And you were saying how many submissions that you guys usually have and you have to watch. So that's sounds like it's another job on top of your job and your filmmaking job. So, do you enjoy that experience, or is it sometimes a little bit too much to take or handle? Or
I do enjoy it because I get to see so many different films that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. So I appreciate it a lot. Even the films that doesn't get selected for the festival, I'm still really happy to have seen them. There are so many good filmmakers. It's crazy. When I wasn't in the film industry, I had no idea how many people were making films. It's crazy. So many.
It's I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, we meet a lot of people here on the show that are filmmakers, obviously, but it's, and the way that they go about doing it, in my mind, it's just it's an impossible dream, but everyone's like, no, just do it. I'm like, huh? How is that even a thing? They're you can make a movie with a cell phone. And I'm like, nah, but it won't be good. And then I watched, there was a major release movie that was made on an iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. It was good. I mean, it had a more gritty look to it and everything like that. But I'm like, I don't really want to go that route. But whatever. Plus, I don't have any good ideas and I don't have any talent. So there's that.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm just kidding. I was hoping someone would laugh, but it's all right. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say, now, when you watch some of these shorts, not do you get ideas, but do you see how one's shot and you're like, oh, that's a cool way of shooting it? Maybe I'll use that or switch it or something. Do you kind of watch it as not only a fan, but you watch it as a filmmaker as well, and kind of pick pieces from different ones and stuff, or do you watch it strictly as a fan that you're like, I'm enjoying this? And
I try watching them as a fan, but yeah, of course, sometimes I'll see something that is really impressive and I'm like, okay, let me see, how did they do that? And I'm not trying to rip someone off and be like, I'm gonna use that exactly, but that makes me think about my own cinematography and creating angles and interesting shots and stuff like that. So yeah, they inspire me very much.
So with horror in your area, in Sweden, is there a go-to film that you would recommend people to check out for Swedish horror?
Yeah, there are a couple of guys. One of them is named Sonny Laguna, and he was one of the directors for the new Puppet Master film.
Oh.
And he has made a lot of great feature films, like a rape revenge one called We Are Monsters. And they have a lot of Swedish independent horror films made before that. One was very inspired by Evil Dead, so it's our own Swedish Evil Dead called Wither. So I would recommend that one. It's fun. And he's a great guy.
Nice. Yeah, the new Puppet Master was really good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. I was excited because Thomas Lennon was in it, but then I'm like, oh, this is good. This is a really good time, and it's funny, and it was good.
Yeah, and his short mystery box is actually out on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very good.
Nice. Yeah, there's I think there's a series. I think it's Swedish that's on Shudder. That it's all subtitles. I don't think it's in English, but I've watched a few episodes and I really dug it. It's one of those things where I have to pay really close attention because I have to read it. So,
what's it called?
I don't remember. I'm the worst. I'm sorry. I'll see if I can find it. Well, Tony, ask another question. I'll see if I can find it.
Well, actually, what we can do, we can take a quick break for a second to talk about our sponsors. So every single show is brought to you by Dudley Grounds Coffee, the most amazing coffee you'll ever drink. And as we say in the last several shows, is Now more than ever, we need to support local businesses. So Deadly Grounds, they're a local roaster here in Connecticut. And we ran into them at the cons, at the horror conventions. And as you know, there's no horror conventions going on right now. So that's definitely a big hit on them. If you love coffee, go on to getdeadly.com. The link is down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And I'm not fibbing at all. It's the most amazing coffee I've ever had. I've stopped drinking Starbucks from them. And yeah, it's here's a zombie talking about coffee. If I can find the right button, here we go.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Leo's got like 40 screens, 2
Yeah,
mics, 5 mouses.
I know. I there's a program where I can actually link the 2 computers, so I can use just one mouse and keyboard. I think I gotta find that. I haven't used that in a while. But we are back. You don't want to hear about my my issues. We were talking
A mouse problem.
I know. I got 2 mice and I get confused, and then I got the little I don't.
Oh, it's called first world problems.
I was just.
We're going through a pandemic right now, and you're complaining about mice.
Yeah. Okay. So our Sarah has a awesome YouTube channel as well. So Bitches of Horror is a so you got your podcast, the YouTube channel as well. Here's the trailer, and again, links are down below or up above. Here we go.
Movie, but it's from Belgium. I thought it was from Sweden. I was wrong.
It's a good film.
It is. I enjoyed it. Usually I'm not one for like subtitles and like unless I'm like fully 100% aware, I'll sit there and be able to read the subtitles. But if I'm like half asleep, I'm like I can't even like see them and kind of. So I got to be in the right frame of mind to get a movie with subtitles. But Cub, if no one's seen it, check out Cub. But it's from Belgium, not Sweden.
So Kevin, had you had enough time to find what you were looking for?
I can't find it.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming it's not on Shudder anymore, and now I feel like a dummy. But it was really good, and I feel bad now if it is gone because I've missed. I can't watch it.
Oh.
But it wasn't Blood Ride, right?
No,
because that's Norwegian.
I want to say it was like it was a Swedish like the title of it was. I could be completely wrong. I'm an American, so I'm kind of dumb when it comes to stuff like that. It could have been like Spanish. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, Tony. Continue. I'm gonna try to find this.
So, I mean, is there one movie that you watched when you were young that kind of clicked you into, your love of horror? Was there one that you could like? Because sometimes you're like, oh, I've seen so much, but sometimes it's like I watched this one movie and I was just like, I was hooked ever since.
Yeah, when I was 6 years old, I watched John Carpenter's Halloween, and that was it for me. I'm like, I was so fascinated by everything. I'm like, oh, what's this? It's so exciting. It's the music and just everything. I don't even know how I was able to watch it. I think my parents just wasn't paying attention, and I was just flipping the TV, and I was like, "Ooh!" So yeah, it changed my life.
I found the show, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Swedish, I believe. It's I'm gonna say it wrong, I'm sure. George Scott.
Okay, Jordskott. I
All right.
haven't. I haven't watched it actually, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, it's on Shudder in the U.S. I don't know if you guys have Shudder in Sweden?
No,
No.
can't. Mm-mm.
You should get a VPN. Pretend you're in America, but then you still have to pay for it. So
Yeah.
whatever. It's really good. It's like Netflix, but it's all horror, like
nice.
foreign. It's really good. A lot of like classics.
How much
and
is
stuff.
it though? It's not that much, right?
$10
$6 a month,
something like
I think.
that.
Yeah.
Wasn't?
I think it's 6. I
Yeah.
could be wrong. Whatever. My wife always like
Especially,
tells me like, "Oh, then cancel Shutter." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that."
Yeah, and
especially for the amount of stuff that they have on there, it seems like the like selection grows and grows and grows. So.
They're owned by AMC, so like all the AMC series, like all the like the little special stuff, like Greg Nicotero did like a series that's on there. I don't know. It's good. This turned into an ad for Shutter. I apologize.
and a VPN. We need to get a VPN as a sponsor.
Yeah. So I won't have to pay for it.
So another thing we were talking about before the show, because again, I asked questions before the show we should even start.
It's uncomfortable. Like you sit here, like we're gonna be silent for like 10 minutes while Leo checks things, and then picks the wrong mouse.
Yeah. Well, I do more than check things. I'm setting everything up. I'm cropping all
I know
the
that. I'm just saying.
cameras. I'm setting the lower thirds.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm
Setting
just
up
saying that
restream.
we don't want to sit here and uncomfortable, and then as soon as we start, we're just stupid.
I'm configuring the RTMP server. And
So we were talking about the beginning of Bitches of Horror and stuff, and we found a very interesting start to your friendship. And do you want to go into that, or?
Yeah, I can go into more detail actually. So me and my friends were at the cinema watching Chappie, and
Sorry.
Jasmine was actually the other host. Jasmine was at the cinema as well, but we weren't friends yet. So she was a couple of rows behind me. And after the movie finished, me and my friend said goodbye because I was actually on my way to another friend, but I missed the last train. So I called up the friend I was with at the movies, and I told him like, well, "What are you doing now? Because I missed my train." And he was like, "No, I'm going to the pub with a few friends. You want to join?" I'm like, "Okay." So we go to the pub, and it's me, my best friend David, his friend, and then Jasmine. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So here's Jasmine, and she had actually heard of me before because, as I said before, the Monsters of Film Festival has been running for a while, and I used to go there and watch every movie. So people were talking about, "Oh, the girl, she watches every film," and people were like, "That's her." So Jasmine, she knew about me before. And then we started talking about it and about horror films, and we were like, "Oh my god, this girl loves horror films as much as I do. It's so weird, but it's awesome." And then the guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna go home. We don't want to party anymore." And me and Jasmine were like, "Ugh, well, we want to continue." So Jasmine, she asked me if I wanted to go home with her, and I'm like, "Okay, sure." And Jasmine told me that she expected me to say no. She just wanted to ask to be nice. But yeah, so we were like sitting on the way home on the bus, and we were both like kind of quiet, thinking like, okay, so is this person gonna kill me, or do they want to have sex with me, or what's going on? I had no idea. So when we get to Jasmine's place, we're in like her room because she used to rent like just one room from her roommates. And when I get home usually and it's in the middle of the night, I change clothes and I get into bed. So I start like undressing at Jasmine's, and she's like, "What's going? Oh my, okay, she wants to sleep with me." And I'm like, "No, do you have a shirt I can borrow?" So she's like, "Okay," and I change, and get into her bed, and then we put on a film. It was Hidden in the Woods, the original version, and we watched it, fell asleep, woke up in the morning, and we're like, yeah, we're best friends. So, yeah, that's that.
Kind of sounds like it was like destined to be, like one of those.
Yeah.
I missed my car. I missed my
Yeah.
bus. I missed this. I just think if you got on that bus, I mean, at least this section of your life, bitches of horror, and
Yeah.
that part might have never happened. I mean, maybe down the road at some point you maybe would have run into each other.
Yeah,
but
it's a sad thought, but yeah, luckily I met Jasmine at the right time in my life.
And how long from that point was it before you started working together, like on the podcast and stuff like that?
So we met 5 years ago in March, and then we started Bitches of Horror that same year in August.
Oh, nice.
So how much is it, 5 months? Yeah.
That's good. So you've been doing it for a long time too.
Yeah, so this year will be our 5-year anniversary.
Nice.
you doing anything big for that?
We probably will, hopefully. Yeah. If everything calms down in the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do a Skype party. It's like, hey everybody.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because we usually do some live stuff, not only reviews and stuff, but we usually, for special occasions, we like to drink and get drunk and just interact with people watching the show, and they can comment or ask questions, or we just talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And get drunk. Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit too, but I'm not.
So you would fit right in.
Just talk shit. Yeah.
You just got to grow out your hair.
Huh?
I don't know. I mean, to fit in Bitches of Horror, I mean, unless you keep your, shaved head.
I have wigs. Whatever. It is what it is.
You do?
Don't tell anyone. Oh, like Halloween type wigs.
Oh, okay. So what's your production schedule like?
We usually wanted to put up an episode a week, but sometimes life gets in the way, and Jasmine, she got pregnant and she has a kid, so of course that took a lot of time, which is wonderful for her. And then stuff has happened, and so we usually can't keep up with one episode a week. But and sometimes when it's film festivals, then we have to interview and then review all the films, so we put up like a lot during that period, so it kind of makes up for it. But we would like to keep it on a more regular schedule, of course. And now with the pandemic, we can't see each other, so we're like, maybe we can do some Skype things, or
a lot of people are doing it. There's a lot of like really gigantic podcasts, like really big podcasts, that are doing it exactly the same way we're doing it right now. Like, actually Saturday Night Live, which isn't a podcast, but it's a show. And this past Saturday, they did an episode on Zoom. Like, they did it using this platform, and he did sketches through this, which was weird, but it worked. It worked out. I mean,
yeah, totally.
But it just hopefully that's far and few between. Hopefully it goes back to regular soon.
Yeah.
But
I would recommend looking at something other than Skype. Skype can be a bit of a headache.
Skype has a free recording option.
Well, yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it does Zoom. I mean, we're new to it, but does it have that? It
has a recording on it, but it's not free.
Well, for what I'm paying for, it's I believe it's included.
Right, but it said it's not free. So
no, I know.
So anyways, So on your podcast, you guys do film reviews and you do some interviews. Is there like a bucket list, like celebrity that you want to get on the show at some point?
Well, it would be nice to have Barbara Crampton.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. But we just love talking to anyone who loves horror movies as much as we do. So
yeah, we've had Barbara on, right?
You had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So jealous.
That's what it was for.
Was it Killer Rat? No, that was
What was the one with the VHS tape?
oh
Oh, Beyond the Gates.
Yes,
Beyond the Gates.
for that. We got around for that. That was
Nice.
good.
So, I mean, sitting down talking to, I mean, we love talking indie, guests as well, but sometimes you get starstruck because we had, some bigger guests on, and it's just like you kind of don't know exactly what to ask at any given point. So it's one of those deals where it's like, you need
You're
a break.
afraid you're going to say the wrong thing. And they're
Exactly.
gonna be, what the fuck? Like,
And I'm leaving this interview right now. Get out of here. Why would you ask that? Like, but,
so I don't even know if it was on the show, but I said something to Dee Wallace that I got scared during ET when I was a kid, and I hid under the seat in the movie theater. And she called me a fucking pussy. And I was like, I was 5. She's like, all right, that's forgivable then. But I'm like, Dee Wallace is sitting there calling me a fucking pussy. This is great.
Actually, we've had Barbara on twice. She actually came on for Death House as well.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
So we were talking about about movies and about like production, and sometimes things don't work out. Like that's a perfect example. Like Death House was like a bigger movie, and we actually got to go to the set and do like a thing there, and we were super excited about that, and it looked awesome. But then production stuff got in the way, and it really changed the flow of the movie. So it's tough, and it from a creative standpoint, with yourself being like a writer and like even director or whatever, it must be painful if this stuff doesn't turn out to be the right way, and people are seeing it and they're destroying it. You're like, you don't even know I was supposed to have this day. And
Yeah.
it's true. You know, that's I wouldn't be able to deal with that.
It's hard. It's hard because only you know what really happened behind the scenes, and
When other people like rely on it too, like when there's other actors and stuff involved, like it's like I play music, and like I would hand someone a CD, and like right away I'd be like, you're gonna hate this, and so that way if they do, I'm like, see, I told you. And then if they don't, I'm like, oh, see, I was just kidding. Most of the time I'm right. They hate it. Waste of time. Sorry, go ahead.
So you took you went from horror movie fan to writing a horror movie. Have you directed anything? Well, besides the short and stuff, did you want to direct a full length? Are you going to be the one to direct the full length of Create Your Killer? Or are you going to have someone else in there, or?
Yeah, I think that I will be directing it. But I've also worked a lot with Andres Ramos. He's actually the one who directed my feature film, Sariyad, and I've known him for like 10 years. We met at film school when I was 19. And we have been working really well together. We're always drinking at pubs and coming up with the best stuff there. And we're actually writing and co-directing an upcoming comedy series called Attack of the Bee Film. So yeah, maybe I would love to co-direct the feature with him as well. So
nice. Do you guys it seems like you guys have kind of a close-knit community, which is pretty awesome. But do you guys do like crowdfunding at all when you're doing your projects, or is it something where you just all out of pocket yourself?
For the feature film and Create Your Killer, we did a crowdfunding, and it went kind of well. So yeah, I'm thankful for all the horror fans who just love helping out and making it possible to create this film.
Well, if you guys decide you're going to do the feature, let us know, and we'll definitely push the crowdfunding and stuff for you. And same deal. Like, I think that when it gets to that point, hopefully it gets to that point, if you have the original short as like, hey, proof of concept right here, I think it's going to go very well, because I really dug it. I've actually watched it like 3 times. So.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, it was definitely one that, like I said, it piqued my interest so much, and I'm just like, what else is going on? Who's this guy? And what, like, especially when you're cycling through the people, I'm just like, okay, that's, they all look. I mean, only one was like almost
More
spot
spot
on
on,
kind
yeah.
of deal, but then the other ones are just like, okay, that's definitely
Like a weird version, like their weird brother. Like, you know how
Yeah.
like an actor will have a brother who kind of looks like him, but not really. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
almost
that.
like
Patrick Swayze's brother looks like Patrick Swayze, but different.
Chris Farley's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
We-
kind of
we just go through a list of people's brothers all
Yep,
day.
yep.
Well, let's not because it's almost 10 o'clock.
It is.
Sorry, almost 4 o'clock.
So the big question is, did you actually have a VHS player, or did you have to hunt one down?
I had to ask a friend because I used to have one when I was a kid, but mom threw it away. But it was easy finding one. A friend was like, "Yeah, you can borrow it," and then he was like, "No, you can keep it."
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
can borrow it
"Yay,
forever. You
score."
can borrow it for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It's something that every once in a while I'm like, I should probably grab one, like at some point, because I have a bunch of VHS, but it's like, am I gonna even use it?
I'm sure you
Yeah.
can
Too much
find
other
a VCR
crap.
for like 10 cents somewhere. Garage sale, they're probably like, here, take it.
Yeah.
You buying this movie? Take
Have
my
free
VCR.
VCR with every purchase. So, anyways, we're just about 10 o'clock, so we
We
should probably
are.
wrap things up so
Yeah.
someone can go to bed.
Yeah, totally.
It's okay.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Jesus
Well-
Christ.
What we'll bring up real quick. I don't know if you want to mention what your day job is. It's very honorable.
Yeah, well, I'm working as a healthcare worker, personal assistant for people with physical disabilities.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, especially with what's going on now, like the healthcare workers need a little bit more pat on the back. You know, you guys are putting yourself out there. You go to Walmart and like everyone there is like all covered in, you know, whatever to protect themselves. And like, meanwhile, people
You're
that
walking right
that
into
don't
the
even have
fire and
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I'm just lucky to have a job. I know so many people who are
Yeah.
jobless right
Without
now.
without getting too specific, I work in collections. So I'm calling people being like, hey, pay your bills. And I'm like, I don't have a job anymore. And I'm like, crap, you know? So it's like, you know, that's my job. So it's there's a lot of people in a really bad spot right now. And just, that's another reason why I want things to change or go back, because I want the thing, you know, people are
Yeah.
struggling right now. And it's the one thing that bugs me is that it's happened so quickly, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not like it's been a year. It's been like a little over a month, and
yeah.
things are falling apart.
Yeah.
On that
Everybody-
note, sorry.
I was just gonna say everybody's so, you know, so used to a normal routine that any small little thing throws us off. So I mean, you do have your spontaneous people that just go and run, but so many people are usually so used to a certain schedule that one little derailment is just like mass chaos too.
Yeah. I don't know why, but we just brought this down, and I'm sorry.
Oh.
We just.
Well, I
totally
tried to
got
bring
the
it
show
up
on.
just to, you
I know
know,
that. I
page.
know, and that by we I meant me specifically brought this down. So I do apologize, but yeah, go support our awesome guests and support everything that they do on Bitches of Horror. So that's available on YouTube, and it's also wherever podcasts are found, right?
Yeah, on YouTube, and then we will try it to get all the episodes as a podcast as well as audio, but we have been too lazy.
Oh, all right.
We'll
Well,
see.
it is a process.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, but we applaud everything you do. And, you know, I made it so easy for you guys to follow Sarah and Bitches of Horror. Ton of links down in the show notes down below, or up and away. Yeah, I'm tired as well, but definitely not as tired as Sarah. Holy crap, 4 o'clock. Okay, so we'll wrap things up here, but ton of links, ton of show notes, ton of links in the show notes down below or up above. All their social media links to YouTube, everything. And with that, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, Sarah. Where you know, for your social media, where do you interact with your fans the most?
On Instagram, definitely.
Awesome.
And what is your Instagram for those that are listening?
Sarah of Horror.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll be following you shortly.
Totally. You have Sarah of Horror, also on Instagram, Bitches of Horror, and Bloody Fierce Productions.
Yeah, that's my production company.
Awesome. I followed all of those today.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tony.
You can find me on Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything to do with movies, pretty much. You can find me on Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter, Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Dorkening every Tuesday night. Kevin.
A Knuckle on Twitter and Instagram every Tuesday night here. Also doing Wicked Horror reviews with the 13th Wolfman. And I'm also part of Black and White Fright and Secret Underground Hideout, all of which are on the Dorkening Podcast Network. And Leo, talk about that network.
Speaking about the network, over 20 shows on the network right now. Head on over to thedorkening.com, where you can find all the shows there. And, all the shows can be found on Instagram, Google Play, Spotify, just about everything. Just Google The Dorkening. You'll find out more information about that. Follow our awesome guests. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which. And also, just a heads up, Toking DEAD. They've gone a little crazy. We're going to a weekly show with them right now. Just for the time being, because they have a bunch of guests, with the whole coronavirus and everything. They have
a lot of time on their hands.
They do. So we're moving them to weekly.
Talk about pot smoking zombies.
Yeah.
So,
actually, check this out really quick.
Hurry up.
Hold on. I got the latest.
Now it's 5 o'clock.
I know. So they sent me the latest issue, and I just got it today. And in the back, we got a nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was just being sarcastic.
There we go.
Is it in one of the what sleeves that we used to be sponsored by? Where they're not grimy, gritty, or gunky, or whatever they
cruddy.
Wrap it up.
I want to thank you all for watching. Definitely check out Bitches of Four and go follow Sarah. And thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Good night, everybody.